Eric, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what do we got?
Okay. Imagine, close your eyes, go into the pretend space with me. Imagine you're starting a new job. You know that awkward moment where you don't know anybody and you're kind of getting walked around from like desk to desk, introduced to some of your new coworkers?
I'm there right now. Take me out of here. I hate it.
No, stay in this with me. Stay in this with me.
Okay, I'm in it.
Imagine one of your coworkers is introduced to you. I just a name, Brandon. Let's say Brandon.
I hate him already.
This is Brandon, aka Dragon. What do you?
Okay.
What do you say to that?
There's kind of two routes you can go here.
Mm-hmm.
You can really yes end it and lean into it and try to like see how tough Dragon is and what his deal is and kind of be really interested into why they call him Dragon. Or you cannot take no shit from anybody and come up with like a cooler nickname for yourself on the spot.
What would your cooler nickname be? I've just been introduced to you as Dragon. What is it?
Probably Minotaur or Centaur or like I'm Satyr. The thing that's fun about a satyr is that any man wearing pants could be a satyr.
That is true. And a dragon,
you don't know.
I don't think satyr ranks cooler than dragon is the problem. I think you fucked up. And now you're dragon's lunch.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. Are you still talking about Are you talking about the Skinwalker Ranch thing?
I'm talking, I watched some Skinwalker Ranch, Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch on Netflix while we've been off. And there is a man that is introduced, I forget his name, but he is introduced as AKA Dragon. And I am obsessed with that now.
Yeah, you turned me on to that whole show. It is so good. I watched every episode.
Oh, okay. We're definitely going to have to talk about that. It's Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. We'll be back to talk more about that in a second. Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. It's a podcast about spooky, scary stuff. I'm Brian, here with Eric. Hi, Eric.
Yeah, what's up, man? We're back in the saddle.
You know what? I'm gonna declare right now. We did Volume 1. That was the original version of the show. We did Volume 2. That was us coming back. Like, let's do it. This is Volume 3, baby. This is the third one.
Is this the third act or just the third? I don't like third act because that implies some kind of apocalyptic. No, just Volume 3. There could be Volume 12. There could be so many
volumes if you got a lot to say.
Yeah, which I think we do, just about literally nothing. I like the new format.
We're and I think deep down we knew this, where I think the format of the show needs to just be less. We need to not pretend that we know what we're talking about. So basically, we're going to riff every week for about an hour. We have a big list here of over the summer, over a break, I have assembled a giant list of weird news stories and weird Reddit threads. And whenever the conversation lulls, we'll just dip into that.
Can we go? I feel like we should go meta on the show and just talk about just our experiences and kind of going, maybe we went too deep too fast.
I think so.
We went to one paranormal convention, and I think it's fair to say we were scared straight.
Just
we got scared straight.
A little bit of an existential crisis after.
Yeah. Yes.
Which the convention was a lot of fun. I wanted to had a lot of fun meeting everybody. Whole organization and staff was great. But it was a little bit an element of like, what are we doing, man? I don't know if I believe half of this stuff.
I could have used better ventilation.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna wait.
It was hot.
I'll just say that it was a little steamy. There was some. It was an earthy, just aura.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
It's sometimes though. I think for me, I don't know if this was your experience. I think sometimes the deeper the deeper I've gotten into paranormal stuff, usually in the process of doing this show, the less I actually have come to buy any of that stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. We're trying to do a deep dive into the shallow end. I think we hit the bottom, going fast,
Right.
and we came up, gasping for air.
And there's only like so much I can. No offense to anybody or anything like that. Enjoy what you enjoy, believe what you believe. But
I'd like to offend them.
Great. It's a real good cop, bad cop situation.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, exactly. This half of the pod offending you.
But so I guess overall, I think we're more interested in diving into the weird, the strange, the fun strange, and not worrying about framing things and like, maybe this is real, because I don't think it is a lot of the time.
Except some of it, which still could be real.
Here's the thing. Is it dark in the room? Am I spooked? In which case, it's 100% real.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
We were talking a little bit before about Skinwalker Ranch, or the TV series Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. So you watched all of it.
Yeah, but I will say I kind of like Switch watched it, meaning I was
Okay.
playing video games on my Switch while it was on. So there's varying levels of attention that got paid, but I definitely fully watched some episodes. I think I get the gist of it. I loved it. I thought it was very fun and funny.
Okay. It's I watched 2 or 3 episodes, I think, despite my initial excitement about Dragon. So I was under the impression Skinwalker Ranch is, of course, this large ranch in. Do you remember the state? Somewhere vaguely in the Midwest.
It's out west. Yeah, it's like, I don't know why it's not New Mexico. It's maybe, is it like Utah or something? Or the Dakotas.
One of those. Any state you imagine with a ranch, they could be one of those. Basically, it seems. I think the stories go that this specific location has a lot of paranormal activity tied to it. And I think fans and scholars of the paranormal have taken an interest in this television show documenting the titular Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. So I went into it. I think I was a little bit expecting a docuseries, like an actual documentary about Skinwalker Ranch. And much like talking about deep dives into the paranormal, finding that no, that's not what we're doing here. This is an unscripted reality show akin to a Ghost Hunters or a Pawn Stars or a Real Housewives.
That's exactly the vibe that it was. It gave me strong Pawn Stars vibes.
Some people think that reality TV is like, quote unquote, actually scripted. And that's not, I watch a lot of reality TV personally. My wife and I, after we finish recording this, my wife and I are going to be watching the Bachelorette finale. We got a whole fondue situation. Very excited.
That's nice.
But it's no reality show that you're seeing is actually quote unquote scripted. There are not writers giving people scripts that they are then executing.
They kind of set stuff up though, right?
They certainly are because here's the thing. Writers and scripts cost money. These shows keep getting made because they don't cost any fucking money. That is, we're going to have these guys. They all have their job to do, which is, and that day, everyone shows up to work, and it's like, all right, we're going to go up on this hill, and we're going to wave around a beep boop wand, and it's going to go beep boop, and science guy, you're going to go, well, this could be anything. Dragon, you're going to go, it's the ghosts. Every single episode,
Let me ask you this question. Do they know, how real are those characters? Meaning, are the producers hey, you're a science guy, or is science guy really hey, I am science guy?
I think probably.
And Dragon's I am Dragon.
I think Dragon is Dragon,
I think Dragon.
And I think science guy
is he a physicist?
Dragon? No, Dragon's head of security on Skinwalker Ranch.
Wait, is Dragon the blonde guy?
No.
No. That's Dr. Travis Taylor. I apologize.
Is Dr. Travis Taylor? I know a lot about this show that I watched 3 episodes of months ago. He's like the Mulder who comes in and was like, I'm gonna science Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah,
right?
He's like kind of that Southern guy. He's sort of like a vaguely in shape, like middle-aged man who I think has some scientific credentials. Yeah.
I fully believe he does actually have scientific credentials. However,
no, I think that's true.
Everything on that show is in service of the television show, right? Like, he is the science guy, but he also understands that he needs to say, this is strange right before a commercial break, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Even if there's something that strange.
That's why how much like coaching is happening. Like, how much are they like, hey, in this scene, you should fight this guy.
I don't know. You know, I think that changes from show to show. My guess would be the comparison I think that just has to be made, and I've made this a lot of times over the course of our show, is wrestling. I think, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Wrestling, to be a professional wrestler, you have to be an incredible physical specimen, right? And like, that is absolutely demonstrate athleticism in the ring.
Sure.
That said, we have some predetermined outcomes, and no matter what, everything is in service of the television show they are making, you know? And I think it's the same.
I got you. Same deal.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Similar. I think they're more similar than not. Of course, I could be talking up my ass. I have never worked on this show. I've seen 2 episodes of it. This is generally what I understand of the industry.
I hope it's just all real. I hope the cast of Skinwalker Ranch just hit right to you. And it's like, I did get a lump on my head because I dug a weird hole.
Am I sure that does happen? Basically, physicist guy in the first episode wants to dig on Skinwalker Ranch, and Dragon is like, no, we are not digging on Skinwalker Ranch.
We're not digging this hole. Yeah,
and something about another guy, Doug, did some digging on the ranch. What does that mean? What does that mean? What were you digging for? Apparently got some sort of weird lump after digging.
Got a big old lump on his head.
Big old digging lump.
I feel like that did happen.
I believe that did happen. Did that happen because he dug on the ranch?
Right.
Probably not. Do we know that he doesn't have some sort of condition? No. And if he went to the hospital and they were like, oh, it's this, we don't need to tell the cameras that, you know? You and I have done it too, of like, oh, we can just let this live in the mystery, you know? It's fun. It's a TV show.
Yeah. I think, here's the thing about that show that is it fits the pattern so well of every paranormal thing I feel like we've encountered, is like, there's so many stories and so much mystique and all this stuff. And then you watch the show and it's just basically nothing happening.
Exactly.
And them making something out of nothing happening. But with that said, it does sound like there is so much weird stuff that has I think like the government owned the ranch for a while to study. Like, there's just like a lot of weird shit associated with it that did happen, I guess, or not did happen, but there are a lot of witness accounts that are real people said those things, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you go on the show and it's like 3 episodes about how they don't want to dig this hole. And then like, doesn't there like equipment die or something when they dig the hole?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Which I recognize how I'm sounding right now. I'm not even like trying to like take the piss out of it. Because it's a pretty good TV show.
You hate Skinwalker Ranch. You've said to me privately, you would love for them to just pave over Skinwalker Ranch and put in a big old Walmart. Yeah.
That's prime Walmart, prime Walmart location out in the middle of nowhere, Skinwalker Ranch.
I think it would do well.
Walmart knows what they're doing.
Let me ask you a question. So you got 3 episodes and you're like, I'm out. I'm good. You just had your fill?
I didn't even do it on purpose. Of like, that was what I watched in a sitting, and then I never got back around to it. Once again, kind of what we were talking about, I thought there would be more to talk about. It was just like, no, I see what this is. It's the same nothing. Like, I feel like I could skip to the last episode and then it'd still leave me on a cliffhanger, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, and it looks like I'm just doing a little quick Wikipediaing. I think there's now like a weird kind of like real estate play involved in this whole thing, like some real estate trust, because it's like the Disneyland of the occult.
Yeah, very. That's clearly something somebody should. I mean, clearly, if they build
is that our $1 million idea?
That's it. Finally, it took a couple of years, but we got one.
Yeah, we finally nailed it. I actually am surprised that doesn't exist.
It might in some capacity, or is that just? Or am I just thinking of Six Flags Fright Fest?
Yeah, that's the one. That's what you're thinking. You're thinking of Six Flags Fright Fest and Paracon.
Love it. I don't know. Any other thoughts on like Skinwalker Ranch?
I just want to see a thing that is like, oh, that's definitely weird. I mean, I think the closest we're coming to that right now is like the UFO UAP stuff.
Yeah.
Where there is legit footage of things where it's like, that is really strange. I don't know. Maybe it's a drone. Maybe it's a really fast plane that I don't know about, but it's like, that is weird. Right. But yeah, no, Skinwalker Ranch, there was nothing to really like bite into.
That's the other thing of like, even like asking about it. I feel like I ask people, so like, what is Skinwalker? Like, explain Skinwalker Ranch to me, even as like coverage. Give me the basics. And it just sort of settles down to like, it's weird. Yeah, but like weird how?
Yeah. Yeah, like what happened?
It's some mixture of werewolves, portals, UFOs, but like nothing that's actually like this weird thing happens here. Nothing testable.
My understanding of it is of the like lore around it is it was a land. So it's on a Native American reservation. It's where it is I guess supposed to be originally like this haven or this like kind of lair of the Skinwalkers, which were these like warlock demon creatures, whatever, in that part of North America those tribes believed in. And then people turn it into a ranch, whatever, and they saw a lot of weird shit. And then there's a lot of UFO sightings there. And I think the modern like interpretation is it's like a nexus of like the phenomena, like the high strangeness of like the trickster entities that like fuck with you and manifest as what I think that's the deal with it. I think.
Got it.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. The Wikipedia article is very short. The criticism and debunking part is like half of it. It's just,
What are some of the, is there anything interesting standing out if you like browse through criticism and debunking?
Yeah, for sure. So according to skeptical author Robert Schaefer, the phenomenon, in quotes, at Skinwalker is almost certainly illusory. Okay, fine. Not only was the several years long monitoring of Skinwalker by NIDS unable to obtain proof of anything unusual happening, but also the people who own the property prior to the Shermans, a family whose members lived there 60 years, deny that any mysterious phenomena of any kind occurred there. Schaefer says the parsimonious explanation is that the supernatural claims about the ranch were made up by the Sherman family prior to selling it to the gullible Bigelow.
I mean, that checks out, right? I mean, that's the Amityville Horror, right? Like,
yeah, it's very much like the Warrens pattern.
Right.
It's like you kind of make up some awesome stories that people want to believe, and then people like let themselves believe it, and then some people cash in on that belief, and it's a fun thing.
Right. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't, at the moment, until presented evidence to the contrary, I don't see anything wrong with people like with selling stuff people aren't buying in some capacity. If you aren't taking advantage of people and it was like, look, it's a spooky fucking rock. And people are like, I want to see a spooky fucking rock. Here's $10. Like, I don't necessarily have an ethical problem with that, right?
Dude, totally. When we were leaving Paracon and I was kind of bummed, I think I told you this, but my girlfriend Jamie had a very good like explanation for it. She's like, well, sometimes people just go to horror movies because it's fun.
Right.
To sort of be in that vibe and be scared and suspend your, like, you don't have to believe a horror movie is real to enjoy a horror movie.
Right.
And I feel like there's an element of that. It's like you just kind of like being in that vibe. You're wearing a spooky shirt and you have a weird necklace. You haven't showered in a while. It's fun.
Right. That's it. I guess that brings me once again going back to wrestling. Like, I'm ready to switch this over to a wrestling podcast any fucking moment.
Any point. Anytime.
I've asked it before and I've gotten like some pretty hard, like, nope, I don't think this is part of how much is like kayfabe? You know, because we talked to a lot of people at Paracon, and there was a lot of, like, I'm a medium, I talk to ghosts all the time. Like, we got a lot of that. And, like, how much is that? Like, I don't know, man, I'm just having fun. I'm role-playing a little bit.
Yeah, what was interesting was I feel like it's more kayfabe from the people who have the booths.
Yeah.
And more just full-on belief from the people who are kind of, like, cruising.
Yeah.
Like some people really hopped on those mics, man, and had some just really needed to tell a tale or two.
We have hours and hours and hours of audio. I'm still sifting through it. I'm looking for the I not much, you know, it's like there's a lot.
There's a lot.
We'll find something to do with it at some point. I have to back it up and get it off of my like actual like SD card. It's taking up a lot of space on my recorder.
I bet it is. Yeah, that was an interesting. We came in there with a lot of ambitions, I think.
A lot of ambitions, but no tactical concrete. Like, what do we want out of this?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Very interesting. I dropped the link in the chat. We don't actually have to watch it or do anything with it, but it is the footage of the VIP lunch with Dr. Travis Taylor.
Oh my God.
At the Phenomenon in Vernal, Utah. It just happened on September 8th, 2022. This is part 2 of 5.
Oh my God. Okay. This is 45 minutes.
Yeah, part 2 of 5. I mean, dude, people are dropping some ched for this VIP lunch, so there better be 5 times 45 minutes.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm just gonna play a random piece of it. Let's see if we get anything interesting about it. I clicked to a random point in this 45-minute video, part 2 of 5. Let's see what we get.
I wasn't violating anything with Brandon or the show, but and they didn't know I was part of the task force. But I had to, I wasn't even part of the task force at this time, but as a government employee, I had to go and report it, of channels. And so I went to the Pentagon, and I was briefing about the...
I'm so glad were you able to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so glad to click up a random spot and get this man, who's like a pretty buttoned up looking guy, to just randomly so I had to go to the Pentagon.
I feel like with like Luis Elizondo, there's like a whole revolving door in the Pentagon.
Yeah, right?
I feel like we could probably talk to the Pentagon at this point.
We should that's why we need an intern, man.
Book a 30-minute, yeah. We still haven't heard back from the body farm.
Right?
We need someone just cold. We need a little more persistence. I don't have the bandwidth. But if we have an intern, that'd be great.
That'd be great. There's so much UFO stuff happening on Twitter that I can't it's such a deep dive. And once again, I think it's all kind of a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, that's why I like this guy, Stephen Greenstreet, who writes for the New York Post. And I don't exactly know. I actually talked to him on Twitter. He literally was given a basement office by the New York Post to just like be their UFO beat guy.
Oh, beautiful.
He's basically a skeptic. Like a lot of what he does is like dunk on all this shit and like Jeremy Corbell and whatever. I think, yeah, man. I have 2 things to say. First of all, Dr. Travis Taylor I put my finger on it. He gives me serious George W. Bush Jr. vibes.
Ooh, very good analogy.
Like a Bush cousin who got into the UFO world. It's very like wholesome and kind of innocent and like earnest. But I don't know. I mean, like, have you ever heard like interviews with Jeremy Corbell or like?
I don't think so.
Ish. He just does that thing where we've talked to some people. I'm not going to name any names. Who it's like they're just saying a lot of words that sound coherent, and you get to the end of a long sentence and you're scratching your chin because you're like, I don't believe they actually said anything. Yeah, actually,
definitely,
you know?
Definitely. I know exactly what you mean. I guess the other thing about like it's so densely nothing. Even like trying to someone explain to me what's going on with UFOs right now, and no one can seem to do it in a straight like we have this weird
give me
thing.
The 5 minute.
Yeah, give me the 5 minute PowerPoint. And no one seems to like have that ready. And then I can't even find why there's like a big right wing contingent on UFO stuff.
I think, dude, we live in such fractured, strange political times that like just any given topic, no matter how apolitical it is, if one side kind of, or like people from one side kind of gravitate towards it, the other side has to hate it and be against it.
Yeah.
Like I have a buddy. I'm pretty, I would say I'm not really right wing at all in any conventional sense, but I have a friend who's like very pretty progressive, like pretty progressive buddy of mine, pretty left-leaning guy, and he like hates UFOs and is like against UFOs and it's like super skeptical and like thinks it's like all like aggressively like it's all bullshit, whatever. I'm like, I mean, it's interesting,
right?
Like
right.
it is like I don't know how you're like against UFOs or like for UFOs. It's a weird thing in the news, I think.
It's my understanding of like well, first off, it's like sometimes like I'll be clicking on stuff on Twitter, just like poking around, and then all of a sudden like I'm following like a random path of like UFO tweets, and then somehow I'm on Nazi Twitter, and it's like how the fuck did I get here? And then I think there's also an element. One of the things that I think kind of is gravitating a certain type of person, a certain worldview, is I believe like your Fox News pundits, your Tucker Carlsons of the world. I think whenever
they picked it up,
and I think it's generally one of their go-to stories when it's like Biden passed something about building bridges that everyone agreed on. That's when Tucker Carlson runs the UFO footage, you know.
You bring out it's like a misdirect kind of thing,
or just like our our audience doesn't give a shit about that. They want aliens and mad people. For sure. You know, there's nothing to get mad about. So here's UFOs.
It would be interesting to kind of trace the political orientation of the conspiracy minded person or like conspiracy culture. Yeah. Because I think now it has like it does feel more political and it feels like more of a right wing thing. I don't know if that was like always the case. Maybe it was. Maybe there's always that kind of like Unabomber libertarian, you live in the woods and you believe the government's like reading your thoughts kind of vibe. But I also could see like I don't know, 60s like hippie culture just being like real worried about the chemicals they were putting in the water and shit.
That's,
you know what I mean?
So my understanding, I actually have read about this. I'm just talking out my butt. The full disclaimer on literally everything we talk about from now on, we are talking out of our butts. But I remember reading at one point, basically when right wing is in power, the left is more culpable to believing conspiracy theories, and the exact opposite. When the left is in power, the right is more culpable to more likely to believe conspiracy theories. And it just works on that cycle of like, as if the bad guy is in charge.
Of course.
You know.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's generally my understanding. But yeah.
Wow. We're doing it. I just love I love that Dr. Travis Taylor is literally just having a multi-hour VIP lunch. Just really cashing in on that celeb.
We can't do that, right? We can't do that.
I'll eat lunch with anybody for like $5. If you just buy me lunch, I'll eat lunch with you. That's your VIP lunch. Just buy me. You know what? We'll go halfsies. That's fine. I'll just sit down with you and eat lunch.
That's what I got you to do, to have you eat lunch with me?
Yeah. we just
Every
go
single
half-assed.
day, just a sad text like, hey, Eric, you want to have lunch?
I've been waiting outside of your apartment with a rotisserie chicken for like 5 weeks.
I just searched Travis Taylor PhD lunch ticket. Google autofilled the PhD. How much to have lunch with this guy?
According to Steven, so I found this video and I got this tweet this link from Stephen Greenstreet, and his tweet says, at a $75 per person VIP lunch, in quotes, Travis Taylor tells paying attendees that the reason Robert Bigelow sold Skinwalker Ranch in 2016 was because the Skinwalker hitchhiker phenomena had killed Bigelow's wife. Bigelow's wife died in 2020.
That's very sad.
Yeah, that is actually sad. But 75, I think it's even more sad that it's $75 a ticket.
I was kind of expecting more. Like that's if like that's your favorite television show and this guy's gonna have lunch with you and like talk about aliens and shit for 5 hours. What's that? Yeah, right. 70. But there is something about like demographics and like where is the show popular? What's the median income of like what is the show on like History Channel? It's one of those types of shows, A&E.
Yes.
Of like the ticket is only worth what people are willing to pay or able to pay.
That's true. That's true.
It's interesting.
I hope he does a tour. I hope there's a speaking component to all this.
Just a lunch tour.
Oh my,
that's the fucking dream, dude. Just get big enough for quote unquote VIP lunches.
Yeah, you're just cruising around the world. It's literally they say there's no free lunch. That's how you get a free lunch.
That's how you get. So we need to buckle back in, get real heavy on the aliens and the ghosts and stuff, and then just pay $75. No, you know what? We're gonna we don't have a PhD. We don't have PhDs. Our two brains knocked together can't get a PhD. So we'll knock it down $70 per person. $70 per person. We'll have lunch with it. We'll have a sandwich with you.
We only eat at buffets. That's our thing. We only eat at like a Chinese, but any cuisine, but it's got to be buffet style, self-serve.
Right.
You go up, get as much, and that's actually better value for the money. You can keep getting more.
Right. And then we can just keep talking for as long as it's interesting. I would say bare minimum an hour. We'll hang out for bare minimum an hour. But like, hey man, if the ribs are refilled at the Golden Corral, we're going back up and we'll keep talking.
We're going back. Yeah, exactly. And we get to pause to refill unless you want to bring it. We could tell you what we want. You bring it back. That's fine. Yeah, I just want to be lunch famous, dude. That's all I think I really need.
I don't need a house because I'm traveling all the time getting lunches everywhere.
Yeah, I'm always getting lunches. You take a nap on it, but you're fine, pretty much.
You're fine. That's it. We get the Brian and Eric Winnebago, and then we go on the lunch tour, baby.
Maybe a picnic once in a while. Take it outside.
Only if you get Golden Corral to cater.
Yeah, they'll come. They'll meet us.
It still has to be a buffet.
Dude, I honestly think we could get lunch famous. Like, I do think that's an attainment. If we put out a Patreon or something, we're like, hey, let's have lunch. You pay this much a month, we'll come and have lunch with you.
We'll come and have lunch. That's great. I think that is an attainable goal. That is a new official goal.
Yeah, we'll talk about whatever you want. Bring the headlines.
Yeah, just give us whatever headline and we'll go, weird.
I think we're onto something.
Do we change the title of the show to Brian and Eric Get Lunch Famous?
Yeah, Brian and Eric Get Lunch Famous. And then, here, get this. So we record the lunch episodes. And those get released to a VIP inner circle. You know what I mean?
It just fucking feeds itself.
It feeds itself. It's a beautiful, it's a pyramid scheme. It's a sandwich pyramid scheme.
But not a scheme. Very legitimate business venture. And we will be great. And everyone will like it. And get great value for their money and get lots of lunches. Well, you won't get lots of lunches. We'll get lots of lunches.
You actually don't get to eat. We eat the lunch. You just are there.
Even at a buffet, even at a Golden Corral. We'll just take the ribs right off your plate, baby.
Yeah, exactly. You can bring a plate. We eat from the plate, though. That's kind of how that works. We got cross promo opportunities with the restaurants, some kind of coupon situation. Like this thing writes itself.
I just think I don't even think we have to necessarily do the podcast anymore. Once it gets out that people are paying to have lunch with us, eventually they'll stop asking, why are you paying to have lunch with these guys?
Yeah, we're the lunch guys. We're just the lunch guys.
We're just the lunch guys.
Can I say, I think lunch might get some short shrift of all the three meals?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great meal.
People cruise right through lunch. They're not even thinking. They're at work or whatever. They don't care. They're just cruising right through lunch.
Sandwiches are the king of foods.
It's every food. It's all the foods in one thing.
It's the food of
What's
friendship.
What's your favorite sandwich?
You know, okay. If I'm feeling spicy, I love a Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the pork, the ham, mustard, pickles.
Sure.
Love a Cuban. If it's your average everyday sandwich, I'm really hot on the ham and cheese. Some mayo, oil and vinegar, maybe a pickle.
What kind of cheese are we talking about?
I'm very basic, a white American.
Wow.
I know. I hear you. I know.
I can't. Can I tell you my kryptonite?
Please.
I can't eat unmelted American cheese.
Wow. Even like real, actual, like deli. I'm not talking like Kraft singles, which is like not even cheese.
Not even cheese. No, I literally can't. I can. What is weird though? I could eat a grilled cheese. I could eat a burger with American cheese. Great melting texture. If you put that on a sandwich, I'll throw up right on the spot, just instantly.
I think most people would agree with you. I think I'm the disgusting one.
You don't do like a cheddar or a Swiss kind of situation in that scenario?
I will. I'm not gonna like complain if someone makes me a sandwich and they happen to use those things. But if you ask me what kind of cheese I want, I'm like white American.
Okay.
For my gentle baby palate, apparently.
White American for a white American.
Yeah, that's why I pick it.
Yeah, I identify.
I like to be represented by my cheese. I like to feel seen.
Yeah, exactly. Do I look like I have holes in me? I can't eat Swiss. I'm one cohesive unit.
You want like that orange cheddar? Am I a fucking Simpsons character? No.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, sir.
Give me that creamy wax-like American cheese.
Yeah. Just melts great. Kind of just plasticky, strange.
What do you think is the spookiest cheese?
It's got to be like a Roquefort, right? Like one of those moldy boys.
A moldy boy.
It's literally like that.
I've
like
never heard of a Roquefort. I am such a cheese novice. It's got a very mysterious spelling with a Q. Love a cheese with a Q.
Yes, that's right. Look at this thing. I mean, it looks
That's
like
a moldy motherfucker.
Corpse. It's delicious. I love it. There's a cheese called probably the spookiest cheese is a cheese called Casu Maru.
Casu Maru,
which I believe is eaten maybe in Sicily, and it's literally just a cheese that they leave out till it gets maggots in the center of it.
No,
and then you just eat it.
That is the spookiest cheese. You win.
Yeah, it's a fucked up cheese.
That is. How is it spelled?
Let me try to find it. I hope I didn't make that up. Oh, Marzu. CASU
Oh, okay, I got it. I'm on the Wikipedia page for it now. Kasu Marzu, sometimes blah, 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 blah. Derived from the pecorino, which is another cheese, a hard Italian cheese. Kasu Marzu.
Yeah, it's just like a parm.
Goes beyond typical fermentation to a stage of decomposition brought about by the digestive action of the larva of the cheese fly of the some unpronounceable fly word family. These larvae are deliberately introduced to the cheese, promoting an advanced level of fermentation and breaking down of the cheese's fats. Hey, so this means that somewhere, where is this from again? Where is this commonly eaten? Where's
Sardinia? Sardinia.
Yeah, I got a country of origin. I got Italy. I got France. This means some fucking Italian or Frenchman came across a bunch of cheese with a bunch of bugs in it, saw the fucking bugs crawling in it, and like, hey, cheese is still good. And I was like, hey.
Yeah, cheese is fine. You eat around the bug. It's a big wheel. There's plenty of wheel of cheese with no bug.
Listen, you gotta let all this good cheese go to waste.
Exactly. Casu Marzu is among several cheeses that are illegal in the United States.
Oh, yeah, there's no way you can keep that under control, right? You can't sell that at fucking Publix or Stop and Shop.
You know what's interesting is the whole. Are you keyed into the whole raw milk debacle?
I've heard the phrase raw milk, but that's all I know of. I couldn't tell you what it is. I assume it's unpasteurized milk, like straight.
That's exactly
straight out of the cow stick.
That's right. Did you say straight out of the cow's dick?
Straight out of the cow stick.
Oh, the cow stick. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Some lady cows, they ain't got no dicks.
You don't know. They might.
I don't know.
Might be
yeah, you're right. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a milk scientist. But some people love raw. They swear by raw milk. They think pasteurization was like the worst thing we ever did to our food supply and milk. But it's like highly illegal. Like you can get arrested for selling on raw milk, which seems weird. I think if you want to buy raw milk and you know it's raw milk,
yeah, as long as you're aware of everything, I don't. Yeah, weird.
But there's like parking lot handoffs where you like park next to a farmer and he pops the trunk and he's got gallons of raw milk in the trunk and you like hand him an envelope and he like walks away for a little bit and you like take your milk like from his trunk.
Fucking drug deal.
It's a drug deal, but a raw milk deal, baby.
Is it illegal to like possess raw milk? Okay, you said it was illegal to sell it.
I don't think it's illegal to possess it. I think it's illegal to sell it.
So obviously we have to get and document a raw milk exchange.
Yeah,
right?
Let's go on a raw milk sting.
We're wearing a wire. We got you. We can't do anything about it, but we got you.
We can't do anything. We got your milk. This is delicious.
I bet your milk that we paid for.
I bet that milk is so good.
You think? I don't know. Dairy like skeezes me out, man.
Are you not? You're not a big dairy guy?
Don't get me wrong. Love a cheese. Love an ice cream. But like when I think about it too much, I get the willies.
It is sort of weird, I suppose.
I didn't like yogurt for the longest time. Time.
I love yogurt now. It's a weird food.
It's I remember like getting a whiff of it as a kid and it like making me retch. But a couple of years ago, I did Weight Watchers, and
I remember that.
Yogurt was like a really good bang for your like Weight Watchers point buck, like a pretty filling breakfast for like very few Weight Watchers points. So I would just our old job that we worked at together had a fridge full of yogurts every morning.
That actually was a crazy amenity. Just Faye yogurts.
What a crazy time in our lives.
Yeah. We were just sort of held captive by a large corporation in a glass tower with like crazy fucking perks.
But I would like, because it was such a good like bang for the buck, Weight Watchers point wise, I would like force it into my gob. Just a sad boy forcing yogurt into his mouth.
Yeah, then, you were like a 1980s era bodybuilder, just lean chicken breasts and free work yogurt.
But after
force feeding yourself,
after like 2 weeks of that, I came to like yogurt, and I like yogurt now.
Yogurt's good. I love yogurt.
Which is the whole thing of like, there's a lot of people out there. I don't have a huge tolerance for like picky eaters. And there are a lot of people who are like, I can't have that. I was like, you can. You're an adult. If you're an adult, you can adjust your palate to anything.
Yeah, you could try that thing.
You can bare minimum try that thing, and if you have it a couple of times, you'll acquaint to the taste of it. I'm gonna fight all picky eaters. You can come at me on Twitter, and I'll tell you, you can try yogurt. It's okay. It's not.
Try some yogurt. Give it 3 shots.
Give it 3 shots. Give it 3 earnest, not putting it in your mouth and then going, oh, yucky, and then throwing it.
Yeah, you give that a shot. You try some katsu maru and you get back to us 3 times.
I don't think I want to do the katsu maru is the thing. I think
there's some health concerns.
Who we have here on Wikipedia, the health concerns. According to some food scientists, it is possible for the larva to survive in the stomach acid and remain in the intestine.
Yep.
So the bugs, if you eat a bug, it might just chill. It might just chill for a while.
Here's the thing. There's a black market for it, like the raw milk.
Sure.
It sells for double the price of a wheel of pecorino.
The bugs, you got to double it because of the bugs?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Good
Would you
Lord.
eat a bug?
Would I? Yeah, maybe. Like if it's are there going to be any like effects from it? It's not poisonous. It's just
No,
going to be gross.
It's like a cricket or an ant or whatever.
Not just like if you just pointed to it and go, "Yo, eat that bug." Depends on if I
Yeah.
had a couple beers and like, do I think it'll get a laugh? Sure. You're gonna give me money for it? Sure. Not even a lot. Yeah, I need a bug. I need a bug.
You ever hear that story? This is like the worst story of all time. It was a kid, I think he's Australian, and he's like this group of high school kids on a field trip, and they literally dare their friend to eat a slug. And he's
Right. It was like real bad, right?
He's just in a basically like coma for the rest of his life.
Oh my! Can you not eat slugs?
I wouldn't eat a slug. I'd probably not. Here's the thing. Before hearing that story, I maybe would have eaten a slug on a dare.
Yeah,
I would
right?
have not. I would have not been like, you definitely can't eat a slug.
Right? Especially as like a kid.
People eat
Kids will put
snails.
anything in their fucking mouths on a dare. And right, and snails are fine. Snails are a
Yeah,
delicacy.
you can eat some snails. People love snails.
Not that I fucking. It's a French delicacy, though, I believe, and the French put fucking bugs in their cheese. So let's.
Yeah, they're all over the place. They're all over the place.
Speaking of bugs, can I tell you a fucked up thing I found?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Agtha the cockroach?
No, I love it though.
So this is old. Anyone who's like extremely online has certainly heard of this before. But I had maybe read it before. It was a little bit like I was halfway through reading it, and it was kind of like seeing a movie you'd seen before, and like halfway through you realize like my link isn't going to the place that I wanted it to. So now I'm filling time pretending that everything is going great. Okay. This is a Reddit thread. This is a famous Reddit thread, so I apologize if you've heard of it already. But today I fucked up by admitting to my girlfriend that I pretend she is a giant cockroach when we have sex.
Wow.
Are you ready to buckle in for this story? It's a little long.
Let's do it. Okay.
All right. Ever since I was a teenager, I have had a very intense fantasies about having sex with a giant roach. It started in 9th or 10th grade when we read the Metamorphosis by Kafka. As I started to think more and more about the roach creature that the character had become, I started to imagine what it would be like if a woman turned into the roach instead. I found this idea very arousing, and I would not be repulsed or frightened of her, as the characters in the story are. I would take care of her. Then, my thoughts started to get sexual with the character. How you feeling? You regretting this?
I love it. I couldn't like this more.
Eventually, I sort of dropped the bit about her having been a human woman first, and I kind of imagine a fictionalized roach species. They are giant roaches, the size of a person, and have complete intelligence. I kind of, over time, conjured an imaginary friend of sorts. She was one of those roaches, and her name was Agtha. I would fantasize about her often. Whenever I'd masturbated, I'd imagine elaborate scenarios of me and Agtha making love. Eric, would you fuck a cockroach lady?
No, absolutely not. That's the least erotic animal.
I agree. Good answer. Correct answer.
Yeah.
I can't even like for a bit. Like
No, yeah, there's nothing. There's no entry point there. It's disgusting.
When I started to have actual sex, I found out that I could not perform if I wasn't thinking about Agtha. So basically now, anytime I have sex with a woman, I am pretending that she is actually Agtha. Not just think about Agtha, I concentrate intensely to visualize that I am actually having sex with Agtha. I don't want to think about the girl at all. There is only Agtha. Of course, this sex can never be as exciting as my fully imaginary sessions with Agtha. There are things her multiple appendages and antennae allow for that a human woman cannot match. So anyways, I have been in a relationship with my girlfriend for about a year. 3 or 4 times, I tried to have sex with her and pretend she is not Agtha, but I just can't do it. So essentially, every time we have sex, I am imagining that she is Agtha. I finally confided in her the other day, and I was blown away by her reaction. What do you think her reaction was, Eric? Just take a wild guess.
I'm gonna go with supportive.
I thought she might actually take it a bit badly at first, but that she'd get used to it. No, I have never seen such a look of disgust before. Outraged is not an understatement. She is not even returning my texts now. I am afraid she is actually going to break up with me, and also that is going to tell people about Agtha. I don't know how I will face anyone. This is going to sound silly, but I also feel guilty about feeling shame, as if Agtha will be saddened by this. Even though I know she is imaginary, I just don't know what to do at this point. Eric, that is one of 3 updates that this person has given over the years.
Ooh.
This Reddit user, and obviously, of course, this could be a bit like someone just fucking around online.
I feel like it's gotta be a bit.
It
right?
has to be, but here's the thing. This account is very active in the tulpas subreddit. Over the years has posted about finding out about tulpas, which we've talked about in our Philip experiment episode, right? Of sort of like manifesting something into reality. And it has to be. It does have to be. But
it super does.
They've come back to this over the years and updated that they've told their parents about Agtha, didn't go well. They've told coworkers about Agtha, in fact, referring to Agtha as his wife.
Dude, the account is suspended.
Any other thoughts on Agtha or tulpas or roach tulpas or roach wives?
I feel like people like this should be punished.
So yeah, let's assume this man is real.
You lock him up. Just lock him away.
It's like, at the bare minimum, the crime may not be your fantasy cockroach sex. It is. Don't get me wrong. I'm noting it is not great, but the crime might be thinking you can tell people.
I think so. That's like, dude, that's where I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, you lock that one just deep inside your heart.
Truly.
You never let that out.
That needs to go inside a lockbox and then just be fully like hoop dreams into the dark ocean of your soul where it can sink into the depths and never be found.
Yeah, that's just your little secret. That's just for you. You know what I mean?
And where, like, we have multiple felonies here of, like, told their girlfriend, shouldn't have done that. And then, like, tells people at their work and is surprised that, like, they took it so bad. And then tells their parents and is like, how could they take it so poorly? Like, you gotta stop telling people, buddy. You gotta stop.
I will say, though, I feel like with my, like, degenerate friends, if a friend told me this, I'd be like, that's fine. That makes sense. Never tell me this. I never want to hear this out of your mouth again. I wouldn't be like shocked at them. I think I'd be more mad if they're like, yeah, and I told my wife or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like you could tell a buddy this. Tell a buddy.
Tell a buddy and like.
And then you're just roach fucker. That's who you are now.
Okay. A hypothetical. Journey with me into this space, if you will. Mm-hmm. I have told you that this was my post.
Sure.
I in earnest, I'm like, Agtha is my roach wife, Eric.
Yeah,
are we still friends? Do you slowly exit from this partnership and friendship?
I would like to imagine that this entire podcast we've done for years has just been a long con leading up to this moment so that you can broach this subject of confessing the Agtha authorship.
Of course, that's just an imaginary thing. That's simply imagined, not really what's happening right now. That's not what's happening right now.
I think I'd be, you know what? I think I'd be okay with. I don't think it would change a thing.
It wouldn't be the craziest thing to come out of my mouth.
I feel like I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Like I said, like if a buddy told me that, I'd be like, yeah, you're a sick fuck. I get it. It's all right. We're all animals. Like you're never going near my nephews.
That's the next question. Do you think you could keep it a secret?
No, absolutely.
No.
I would you'd have to tell everybody.
I feel
you'd
like
be obligated to tell. I would call your parents. I would call whatever agency. I would call 911.
I think someone would be in the middle of telling me, and it was like I would have to look at my phone because I'm texting verbatim what the fuck you just said to me.
Can you say that again? Hang on, I didn't catch that. Just say that one more time. Okay, yeah. She needs to have the antenna? Okay, interesting.
Okay, now, here is the real question. It's my final kind of thought on Ogtha. Mm-hmm. What if manifesting a sexy roach wife was the crucial ingredient with like a big hunk of Parmesan and would make a fantastic cheese delicacy infested with tulpa roaches? Would you eat that cheese?
I'd eat that cheese. I would try a little piece of that cheese. You can't not try the cheese. At that point, it's a mystical cheese. It's got tulpa roaches in there. Who knows what kind of powers you could.
You gotta try that cheese. I think if anything for Brian and Eric, you gotta try that cheese.
You gotta try. That's our motivational message to you. Try the cheese.
Oh man, this is Brian and Eric don't belong here. It's our spooky weird stuff podcast. I've been Brian. That's been Eric. Eric, any final thoughts?
No, I think we nailed it again.